This town ain't big enough.
What is up, guys? Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Monday is coming to an end for you guys in the US there. I'm just gonna switch across here. So this is Bitcoin. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. And it's Monday. It was actually green, so that's cool. Up about 1%. And you can see like it is fighting to maintain position above this descending trend line here since the all-time high. But I'm going to let a few more people jump in before we talk about it further. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Mars? What's up, Alchemist? How you doing? Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty still with the S&P 500. It's not trending the way crypto is right now, that's for sure. What's up, Unk? What's up, Gianluca? You should be able to see my screen. O-Shift88, Skywalker Philip, how you doing? Smash up the like button. What's up, Miguel? Can you guys see my screen okay? You should be able to see the S&P 500 screen, at least. What's up, buddy? Yeah, cool. Alright, let's go back to Bitcoin here. So the S&P, nothing too dramatic for its Monday. If I just break it down into, you'll see the days with the vertical blue lines here. So last week, let's see, this was Monday, so this would have been Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. So you can see nothing too crazy last week. It was very much arranging last week. Not a whole lot of progress in either direction, to be honest. And much the same today. Today was kind of sluggish. Like nothing has really happened for quite some time now. We're sort of stuck in a range or a consolidation. I kind of almost fear that it's a bit of a bear flag type scenario, like printing out. I'll show you what I mean. So if I just take off the brakes, and could probably use the linear regression tool for that, which is this one down here, regression trend. Trace it to there, and you can see it kind of looks like a bear flag in a way. Expected move after something like that would be like, you know, textbook, like a drop to the bottom side, potentially, right? So with that being said, like, does that mean Bitcoin's going to see some kind of retrace? Now, remember, we have the funds rate decision coming up. So if I open up our calendar, I just want to nail what time on the chart that's going to be. The funds rate happens at 4 a.m. on Thursday for me. For you guys, it's like a nice, probably comfortable 2 p.m. in the afternoon or something like that. Federal funds rate, 4 a.m. Thursday. So there's Thursday, 4 a.m. somewhere around here. About here. Okay, I'm gonna mark that up. And we'll say, we'll make it a red line. Funds rate. Not GED, Fed. Ugh. Fed funds rate. Alrighty, so we'll lock that in. We know that that's where we're getting to. We're building toward that. Likely to come in at a 25 basis point increase, which would take the overall funds rate to 5%. So that would be the interest rate, funds rate, interest rate, whatever you want to call it. Same thing. So we've got that marked out there for the S&P. Now for Bitcoin, that happens. Let's see, where's 4 a.m. Thursday morning? So we've still got a couple of days left before that even happens. So a lot can happen in that space of time. There it is. Okay, so 4 a.m. Thursday for me. Just say Fed funds. I'm not looking at my keyboard, this is why I'm messing it up. Fed funds rate. I can touch type, but it's like my keyboard's off center with where I'm sitting. Okay, there we go. All right. So if we go back to the hour, you can see the past. There has been some kind of like rising formation that's been like playing out in the last, few days here. Well, arguably since like almost the start of March, well, early March at least, there's just, it's been working its way up into this sort of apex. It's like a rising apex. So a natural move out of something like that would be to drop, So let's see what we get with that. Now, I did have this line drawn in earlier, something more like this, where it was incorporating or using that low there, and then, lining it up. But it seems to exclude a lot of the price action, and it doesn't seem as, congruent or confluent with what's been happening with the lows. But so I've kind of detached it from that point, and then maybe it's more like this point here, and we're sort of, you know, seeing if we're going to stay inside that trend. You know, and we're pretty much coming up to test it right now, to be honest. So if I just leave that there like that, that is the sort of support structure we have going on here. And then this doesn't need to be so extended out. This can start from here. And we've got ourselves like a rising wedge. It's a pretty nasty one. Be careful expecting higher prices from here. I think, especially with oscillators, and if we go to like a higher time frame, maybe like the daily, you can see that Bitcoin on the stochastic RSI looks like it has at least reached like an overbought zone or area. So a move of strength has basically gone terminal. So it's terminated up here, and we're going to see some kind of like move down at some stage. That's the next thing to happen on the stochastic. Like, yes, it could chop sideways further. Like, who knows? It really could. It could. And then drop later. But yeah, this drop, the stochastic just waits for the price to make the move before reflecting the drop. So yeah, we're just waiting on that price. So the fact that there's a funds rate decision coming up in the coming days, like that to me says, you know, maybe we don't get anything too dramatic until after the fact, because usually it's this kind of day, a Fed day, that causes or is like the catalyst for a big move. So yeah, like further consolidation may be what we get. Like that's likely. That's on the cards. So, you know, maybe we do get a drop out, but then it's like we reclaim, you know, something like this maybe, and then when the funds rate comes out, you know, we just have to wait and see what it gives us. It could go anywhere really, but I know that doesn't help anyone. It could go anywhere. What do I think's gonna happen? Well, let's look at the daily chart. I think this thrust, okay, this move to the level that we've achieved, so 28.5, let's round it to that, because I think the high is 28,472, so 28.5 basically. I think this push has been exhausted. There's going to be, I feel, like some kind of pullback, maybe prior to the funds rate decision, and then perhaps the funds rate is what picks it back up and gives it a reason to bounce, or a reason to like reapproach that high. Maybe that's what we could be dealing with. It's so hard to call lately because it's been doing some really wild stuff. Like, I did not see this coming. I don't think many people saw like price push below 20, and then all of a sudden we get a push that goes beyond 28 within the space of like 2 weeks, inside of 2 weeks. Miguel Angel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Miguel Angel? I don't know. If another bank goes under, does Bitcoin go bull? Thank you, Miguel. Appreciate that. Super chat. And if it's I don't know, there's supposed to be a lot of banks that are facing the music this week. So yeah, maybe so. Maybe if some bigger banks start feeling the pressure and the pain as well, that's going to cause further optimism for crypto, you know? I don't know how long this trend is going to last, like this bank collapse business and, you know, people running into crypto for safety. It's hard to say. So the bank situation, the fiat banking, traditional banking system, that whole thing has been sort of like a black swan. I'm sure you've got people out there that sort of foresaw it and said, oh yeah, like you know, the high interest rates, these banks are in over their head with, you know, with the way they've been operating and investing, that kind of thing. But yeah, like at least for us as crypto people, we don't, well, I mean, let me know in the comments if you have, but I'm sure most of us haven't been really focusing in on what the small banks of America are doing. But yeah, I'm sure like somewhere out there there was a, you know, someone forecasting this. But yeah, I mean, through tough economic times, you do get certain sectors collapsing. Like, I mean, in the GFC, in the global financial crisis of 2008, you had that, I mean, the housing sector, the housing market, and the, you know, the dodgy mortgages, the subprime mortgages, like that whole thing is what was the catalyst or the causation of that crisis, that financial crisis. So could it be a similar thing again, except banks this time around, like the banking? I mean, it was kind of banks the first time because they were the, you know, they were the ones giving out these like shady loans, not shady, but, you know, like not solid, like, you know. Anyway, pretty much everyone and their dog was getting a loan back then for a house. Like, you didn't have to prove much. It was just all, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of documentation on it about what caused it. But have I heard much about XRP? No. So I think they're still in like in that case with the SEC, right? So there has been no real dramatic developments there, as far as I'm aware, unless someone can tell me different in the comments. But yeah, look, this is just to give you perspective. This was last year, right? We know that crypto went through a bear market, as did, you know, XRP was part of that too, that same bear market, right? Coming down. This has been this year for XRP, like nothing's happened yet with XRP. But the good thing is, it seems to be holding support. Like, it has not crashed down and made new lows. It's just holding ground, which is kind of like, okay, interesting. Like, maybe, you know, if that continues to be the case and all of crypto goes proper bullish, like, I mean, it has been bullish, but you know, when the broader markets at large go bullish again, like, maybe this is, you know, the rock bottom for XRP, you know, 30 cents. If you can get it as close to 30 cents as you can for a buy, like, maybe that's a good price. Time will tell, but I don't think any dramatic move, it hasn't done anything dramatic just yet. Like, it's still got a lot of potential. Like, even just getting up to 50 cents or 60 cents, like, again, would be a nice trade. But yeah, it's still in the grips of this case, this Ripple case with the SEC. So I'm not up to speed with what developments are that are unfolding for that. So yeah, but yeah, damn, is it squeezing? Like, there's just no volatility in it. It's just so flat and choppy. Like, I don't trade XRP at all. Like, some people do. Some people like to, you know, trade it, but there's just no trend. There's no trend at all. It's just flat. You probably have to catch it on the 5-minute to find trends. Like, here's a downtrend on the 5-minute chart. You know, like a little uptrend here. But yeah, anything that happens with XRP, it doesn't live too long. Like, it ends. It reverses fairly soon. So, yeah, anything sustained long term seems to just fade out. At least lately. Like, this year has been kind of mediocre. There was a nice trend in January. I mean, the whole market saw a nice trend there, but you know, there was a lot of alts that did a lot better than XRP in January. Like 30% is still good, but there were things that went up like 80% in January, like, you know, or more. So anyway, hopefully things start to unfold and come to a conclusion with that lawsuit or whatever it is. I don't even know. They're taking him into court, like it's a hearing or it's something to do with figuring out whether XRP is a security or a commodity or what. Like they're trying to define it in court, and I don't know. It just seems they don't have a strong case, because if it was strong, it would have ended a long time ago. But they've been fighting, you know, for like, has it been 2 years? It's been almost 2 years, at least 2 years, I'm thinking. Anyway, that's XRP. It's just a headache for me. I don't like XRP in that regard, but who knows? Hopefully it's got a bright future. So what do we got? We got 11 minutes or 10 minutes left of today's candle, the Monday. Like I've said in many streams before, Monday, Tuesday is usually pretty boring. It may as well be Saturday, Sunday, you know, as far as like volatility goes. But hey, Sunday that has just gone was amazing. It did a really nice push, you know, up through 28,000 off the back of a Sunday candle. So really nice. I'm just going to set this to UTC. So there was Saturday's performance there, kind of flat, kind of like a, you know, even a downtrend you could say, but flat nonetheless. Sunday though, we saw that nice move up, you know, pushing us through 28 for the first time in a long time. And then, you know, Monday rolled around and we got another push up above 28, and now we're sort of fighting to see if we can sustain these levels. There is a decent amount of support, like at around say 27. There's a couple of examples of price bouncing off whatever this is. It's high sixes basically, high 26s. There's a bit of a pivot here, just above 26. There's resistance that was met here at about 26 as well. So yeah, between 26 and 27 there is like this sort of like area of potential support, at least short term, right? But yeah, just, I mean, zoom out, look left, look at the major pivots, like where price has pivoted, so change direction. And those are like your points of interest or your levels of interest. So there's like a 24K. There's a pretty significant level here of 24,000. Like there's a lot of activity off that level there. There's a very sharp example of resistance at 26. I think that is. Yep, 26. So yeah, there's a few little like cornerstones there of price that could have reaction if Bitcoin decides to correct and fall here. Just measuring this move that came down, or that came up from 20. Let's get a bit of a fib retracement on that and see what levels are below us if we do fall. So we have the 382 pretty much marrying up with 25K. So that's nice. That's like double reason for something to happen at 25 if we do fall. We've got the 0.236 at 26,366. So that's kind of like the first fib level for any kind of reaction. And that look at how that marries up with this wick right here. See that? So that's 26,366. 386 on this wick, so it's not quite perfectly to the dollar, but it's very close. So maybe that is a significant point to be paying attention to if we do fall out of this rising wedge. We're dealing with a lot of bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart. You can see that here on the divergence indicator. Not to mention, even the stochastic RSI is showing a series of lower highs like that. So it is coming down, stochastically speaking, while price has moved up. So that's divergent. Let's see what it brings us. I mean, this is what's important in the near future. The Fed funds rate. Let me just measure out how much time we have to wait before that happens. And remember, things can start moving into that event. So, the volatility can pick up before or leading up into it. So let's see how that goes. It's basically 1 day, 18 hours. So just under 2 days from now is we get the funds rate. Let's check what else is happening this month as well. So this month we've had CPI, we've had PPI, we've had, okay, there was some statements. Oh, that's right. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell testified before the Senate, I believe, just explaining to them what the Fed's been up to, explaining like their course of action, that kind of thing. They've been grilling him about it. You're putting people out of work, like, your goal is for unemployment to go up, and they were like very, stern about it. And he was just explaining it's a necessary thing because inflation is a larger problem. It's a more permanent and damaging problem long term than just a short-term unemployment, which, obviously unemployment's not great. Like, it's not a good thing, but it's a necessary evil when you're dealing with this economy at the moment. Which is crazy because, I mean, they caused the problem. Well, in a way, like they contributed to the inflation going out of control. And they kind of had to keep things moving during COVID, during the pandemic. Certain actions were taken to keep the economy moving, to keep the world, to keep America afloat and not just completely stopped. Like, what would happen if if food trucks stopped, if energy stopped, like, it would have been chaos, basically, even just for a day, when you think about it. So anyway, we are just still dealing with the fallout of, the shake-up that COVID caused, economically speaking. So what else? Later this month, we've got GDP, so final GDP. It's not as high impact as something which is called advanced GDP. So there's three data sets that come out for GDP. There's advanced, there's preliminary, and then there's final. So the advanced GDP report is the most impactful, and that's what we're getting next month, I believe. So let me just double check that. Next month, April. So we're almost through March, by the way. How crazy is that? I think there's, 10 days left? Let me just check. Yeah, 31 days in March. We are the 21st, so 10 days. April, where's this advanced GDP? I think it might be late. Yeah, here it is, down here. So the 27th of April, we have advanced GDP, which is basically the earliest measure on Q1 that we can get, because as we all know, Q1 is January, February, March, and it's going to be reporting on how GDP behaved for Q1 this year. Remember, more than 2 negative quarters of GDP in a row is considered a recession. And let me just get a snapshot of that. This technically was, you know, what a recession is measured by, 2 negative quarters. So we had that. We had a negative 1.4 and a negative 0.9 last year. So technically a recession. I know there was semantics around like how they define recession, like they just started changing, you know, just so that they could avoid saying the R word, recession. And then look, Q3 and Q4 were good. 2.6 and a 2.9. That is basically indicating that we've come out of that messy situation of GDP, like, you know, the negative growth. So not bad. So let's see what you know, late next month we'll see if we get advanced GDP to come in higher than 2.9%. That would be really nice to see. If it gets higher than 3%, that'd be nice. It shows that, you know, America's getting back on its feet, getting back on the right path for growth. That kind of, yeah. Okay. So that's next month. Just go back to this month. Not a hell of a lot. Not a hell of a lot more to go, really. It's, I mean, this is the most significant thing. The funds rate decision. This isn't too impactful unless there's a big shock to the figure, but it usually comes in, the unemployment claims comes in like ballpark to the forecast, which doesn't tend to have too strong of an impact, I believe. PMI, I don't recall this ever causing too much of a shake-up, even though they are considered high-impact events. Consumer confidence score, unemployment claims again. So we get these unemployment claim readings like multiple times a month. You know, they come in. There's the rate, claims, yeah. PCE, producer something or other. Personal consumption expenditures, okay. So there's all these different readings that are coming out, but I think that obviously the most important ones are CPI and the funds rate. Have I lost many people with all this boring talk? We've got the new daily. Here we go. We're 1 minute into it. What happened on the closing? We'll go out to the daily chart. Let's hide the drawings. Let's go full screen. Okay, so Monday, the Monday candle was a red candle. A lot of wick, a lot of activity, top and bottom side, really. But nothing too dramatic. We have not got below our Sunday candle, which was our really nice, high-performing candle. Friday was incredible. But it was the Sunday, Monday last week, which were really amazing. Even the Tuesday, I mean, the Tuesday was a wick mostly, but yeah, what a start. What a way to kick off last week. And then round it off with such strong move up. Let's see what Tuesday brings. So we've just started the Tuesday candle, UTC Tuesday, TradingView Tuesday. It's probably still obviously Monday night for you guys in the US. It's 10 a.m. Tuesday here in Australia, so from an oscillator perspective, things are pretty cooked. Like, things have come up pretty hot, as you'd expect. Interesting thing is, we came off the back of all this bearish divergence, right, on the daily. It caused a dip. We actually came oversold off the back of that, and that was enough to fix it, to basically, you know, sort that out. And now we can, you know, get back to business with what we were trying to do. And the market has pushed us, you know, up beyond 28. So that's awesome. Midnight where you are, D Johnny. Yep. So you're in the UK, UTC. Very good. 3 minutes past midnight in England, the UK. Tuesday, unfortunately, is similar to Monday for me. That's how I see Monday, Tuesday, usually kind of eventless. Not saying that things can't happen, but it's just the trend seems to be like the way things usually go on a Monday, Tuesday are quite slow. You know, especially leading up to something like the funds rate decision, I don't think you're going to get too much unless something comes out of in the news, like some massive bank collapses or something. Then it should be pretty choppy and flat. Like, I don't think much is going to happen between now and the funds rate, but we will see. Come Wednesday's the day before, or the day of, rather. Let's go to New York time, because that's when the CPI, like, I mean, that's the place to be when you're talking about American-related events. So Fed funds rate, Wednesday at a comfortable 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so you don't have to wake up out of sleep for that one, unless you're a day sleeper. So 2 p.m. Wednesday, guys. And you are currently Monday night, so not long now. So far, Bitcoin is trying to establish support on this trend line, whatever this support line is. Can you call the God candle over? Depends what you're calling the God candle. So if you go on the daily, you might even have to go to the weekly. I mean, last week's God candle, if you want to call it that, you know, a candle that's just very impressive, right? That did its job. I mean, it's a bullish engulfing candle. It's we came off the back of a hammer too. I mean, look at that weekly hammer from the previous week, the week starting the 6th of March, and then, you know, 13th of March, massively bullish engulfing. So can this week still has 6 days left. We're only 1 day down on this week, so yeah, things could start shaping up, and we could get a huge green candle again. We really could. We just have to wait and see what the funds rate decision is and how the markets react off that. I don't think we're going to get too much enlightenment before then. So it's just a game of patience. Less than 2 days to wait now. So yeah, I'll be here to talk about it. Now, this time tomorrow, I won't be streaming because I'll be at work. So I do put out updates though through my Discord channel. So if you're not part of Discord and you want to get those updates, consider joining Discord. A link to my Discord will be, I'll put it up here, one moment. General, let me create an invite here. And I'll put it up in the YouTube chat. What do I do? Nothing fancy. It's just a job, man. It's nothing flash. It's nothing. It's not a, what would you call it? It's not a prestigious job. It's not high paying. It's just an average job. You know what I mean? I am by no means some high flyer, like rich, successful businessman or anything like that. I'm an average Joe. I'm into crypto, trying to turn things around, and that is me. All good, man. No problems. But yeah, I mean, the whole reason I'm interested in crypto is because I want to change that. I think that's why we're all here. We want to change. We want to see if we can, you know, get some decent money out of this market and turn things around. But yeah, no, I'm comfortable. Like with what I do, it pays the bills. You know, it's not high stress. It's an alright job. Now the link to my Discord, here it is. So that, I'll pin it to the top. So if you haven't joined it, I'm sure most of you have joined it by now, but there it is pinned to the top of the chat. I post updates in the announcements channel in my Discord. So if there's anything that I want to sort of call out or I want to talk about and I can't stream, I'll put it in there. I'll put it in the announcements. If you scroll through there, you'll see previous examples of that where I've just given an update about what I think's important. So anyway, yeah, from here, let's just see what happens between now and the funds date, which is coming up soon. It looks like, I mean, I would not be surprised if we lose these levels because of this rising wedge. Like, try to reset these oscillators. I mean, a lot can happen in 48 hours. I mean, it's less than 48 hours for the funds rate day, but a lot can happen between now and then. This could get like a heavy retrace, and we could really come down and do it like a sharp retest of something quite low before like rocketing back up into the funds rate. You know what I mean? So we've seen that a lot. Like, we've seen, our retest of 20K was quite fast. That last moment there was quite rapid. It took like less than a day to recover off that. So yeah, a move like that could happen inside of the time between now and the funds date, right? I'll show you what I mean. If I just get a ghost pattern here, like, you can fit something like that to there. Like, maybe that occurs. I don't know. We'll see. There's been sharper moves in less time. Anyway, just a second. Yeah, one moment. Just looking at the watch list here for the altcoins, we've got not too much happening just yet. Some of the market's green, some's heading in the right direction, a positive direction. Some is correcting. Ooh, HNT is taking a hit already. We're only like 11 minutes in and this thing has collapsed. HNT, whatever that is. I have no idea. GPT, so this is that chat GPT type crypto. I mean, GPT, it's a key buzzword lately. It's very trendy, and it's no surprise that there was an altcoin that came out of the woodwork with the word GPT as the ticker, just to capitalize on that hype, that buzz. So that is currently falling as well. If you believe in these things long term, these are some nice corrective moves, It's going on special, it's going on sale. But yeah, nothing too crazy just yet with the alts. Bitcoin, fighting hard to maintain position. It kind of did that yesterday. There was a couple of fights that it had on its hand. It had this one where it dipped below 28 and it was really gunning toward and threatening 27. But it bounced very rapid. It came all the way back up above 28, made a new high for the year, right? For this year so far. Before again correcting, making a higher low though. See that? These are higher lows, interestingly enough, right? So uptrend is intact for now. Can we get another push above 28? Let's see what we can do today. It'd be nice to see some out of the blue, some like just surprising price action, you know, something that not everyone's going to be expecting. Seems to be the way Bitcoin goes lately. Does the unexpected. But yeah, so far it's off to a nice start. We're only 14 minutes in. So you fix planes. That's cool. That's an awesome job. Sounds good. I need to sleep. I'll leave you driving. Alright, dude. Good night, Gianluca. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for checking the stream out. Appreciate it. Drop it so I can buy at a better level. Yeah. MSJS wants to look at Doge. Let's check Doge out. Do I have a chart that has like analysis on it already for Doge? Maybe. Let's check one of these older ones. Doge. I think it's in my top 20 list. Yeah, Doge USDT. There's some levels to look at. So if we go out on the daily chart, there has been like this blue dashed line, which is like an ascending support line. And look at the way, by the way, look at the way it has it perfectly bounced from this low, like traced to this low. This line was respected very close, like almost to the, you know, to the decimal. Like it's, the accuracy of that bounce was amazing. So pretty significant line to have on your chart for Doge, I think. If you draw up the most extreme lows here, the wicks, you'll get that line. I'll make it a little thicker so you can see it. But yeah, with that being said, you can see the Twitter, when Elon Musk bought Twitter, Doge reacted amazingly. Almost capping, like touching 16 cents. We'll basically call that 16 cents, the rip to 16 cents. And then since then, huge correction, massive correction, very obvious lower high, series of lower highs. But the lows are getting higher. So to me, Doge is squeezing. Doge is squeezing into something. The volatility is getting tighter and tighter. And I think, you know, in the future, this thing will rally up pretty impressively, like quite handsomely. So let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. In the short term, though, what do I think's happening with Doge? It's, I mean, it is close to this ascending support line that I'm talking about here. You know, this is the hour time frame. This is the hour chart. The drop from here to that blue line, if it was to do it like within the next couple of hours, would be 11% drop. Is that gonna happen? I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it's something to look at. There's another trend line I can see here, like this is a bit more of a shorter term, and we've recently lost it as support, this trend. And we're basically teasing 7 cents. So if you're a long-termer with Dogecoin, anything, if you can get Doge at 7 cents or lower, then that's only a good thing long term, like from a long, like I'm talking like multi-month perspective. Because these prices, like, 5 cents I think is the line in the sand at the moment, right? That's the lowest Doge has come since all-time high. And then, after that, the lowest point was 5.5. And then since that 5.5, it's been 6.3, so it is, the bar is raising, these lows are getting higher. It doesn't mean that this trend line is impenetrable, because nothing on the chart is impenetrable. Like, everything can be broken, so just be careful of that with your expectations, but significant line nonetheless. That's all I'll say. Sup, Mr. Dino? Yeah, 6 cents would be nice. Like, if you're a long-term Doge believer, then 6 cents is amazing. I mean, if Doge is going to go anywhere near to its all-time high again, any price below 8 cents is amazing. So even right now, like, you could even say below 10 cents is amazing too, right? Because there's so much action above that. There's so much price action and price history above these levels. So yeah, let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens. That's what I'm seeing for Doge. As far as also oscillators, much like Bitcoin, the daily stochastic RSI is pretty hot, kind of suggesting a pullback, like some kind of retracement. We have lost that trend line short term. Today's candle, though, it is starting off trying to be green, so it's 0.3% up. Let's see if it can reclaim this trend line that's been in play for the last few days, or the last couple of weeks actually. Let's zoom out a bit. Yeah, since the 10th of March, basically 9th or 10th of March, it's been in this formation. And this could just be like a bit of a dirty retest of that trend. It could be a bit of a fake out, like a bear trap or something, But if we can get back up on top of it, awesome, I think that what it seems to be pulled up and reacting to is 7 cents. Big psychological round number, 7 cents. The fact that it's pulled in a higher low already, like, we've had a low here and then a higher low here, that could be the start of maybe moving and pivoting. Like, early to say, but we'll see. I don't follow Doge too closely, but it's certainly, when it wants to, it performs pretty well. Like, you can get some nice trades off Doge because it trends. How do you feel about Shiba? Oh, Shiba Inu. That's another, like, high potential. Like, it's proven to be high potential there. So what do we got? 1,000 Shiba Toshis. So, 8 decimal places is a Satoshi, like with Bitcoin. So point and then 7 zeros and 1, that is a Satoshi. So I call them Shiba Toshis when we're talking about Shiba Inu. We're 1,049 Shiba Toshis right now. If I go out to, like, say the daily, look what it did in the past. That's crazy. It went up 1,000%, 1,116% from, like, these low area, What do we got here? This was from a long time ago. All this write-up. I was talking about the types of analysis, I think. Fundamental analysis, news and data, event-driven sentiment, that kind of thing. Oh, that's right. I was talking about priority of different aspects of analysis. Yeah, this was a good example of when something new comes on the scene. much like Bonk, right? Bonk is new to the scene and it's a shit coin. And they go through this sort of like support discovery phase where it trends down initially after listing like this. It comes out, crashes, finds some kind of support, and has to establish and prove itself at that level of support for some time before at some stage there is a pump that can happen. I mean, it doesn't have to happen, but there's a lot of examples of it happening to these new coins, right, that come out once they've established support. And this one was really spectacular. The whole move was corrected, of course, or most of it. Yeah, all of it. The whole thing was corrected. Dumped right back down. But notice we have maintained the lows of that support area that were established back in 2021. So really nice to see on Shiba. But yeah, like, look, nothing too compelling to report just yet on Shiba, other than the fact that it's like Doge, it's maintaining some kind of support in these areas. It's quite stubborn, the support. It's not capitulating further beyond this zone. Let me get rid of all this crap. I think at the time we were following a channel, which since broke down. I would say this is probably like a lower time frame analysis. Yeah. We were looking at a channel which since broke down. Remember, anything that rises tends to fall, and anything that falls tends to rise, just as a result. So this was a rising channel which fell. You know, that's kind of textbook. It's not a guarantee, but that's a very common outcome for anything rising. Anything rising tends to fall, and anything falling tends to rise later. You know, it's just the natural flow of the market. What goes up must come down. What goes down sometimes comes back up. Zigzag, cool. I'm just going to delete all this. We don't need it now because that's done and dusted. Even that channel. Okay, so what are we dealing? Yeah, it's just chop. It's just choppy sideways. A lot of the alts haven't done anything too spectacular since Bitcoin has pushed up through 24,000. You know, Bitcoin's kind of still cutting its path. So the alt season, or like, you know, the alt session, I think, hasn't even started yet, which is exciting because that means things like Doge and Shiba and Bonk and, you know, you name it, I think have a lot of potential. If Bitcoin continues to rally, if not stabilize for an extended period of time, I think the alts have a lot of catch up to do to see some of that money. Let me check out, by the way, let's do it off this Shiba screen. Total crypto market cap. Total including Bitcoin. So we're well above $1 trillion. That white line is $1 trillion market, total market cap. We're still below this swing high here from back in August last year. So I think it's going to be significant if we're able to break to a new high on total. So yeah, alt season definitely not started yet. Even though some alts pop off and do like 50% in a day, that kind of thing, that's great and everything, but it's not alt season. Bitcoin's dominance is still high, I believe. Let me check that too. So that's total. Total's looking good. We're maintaining price above 1 trillion. Bitcoin's still nice and elevated. Bitcoin dominance is rocketing up. It's like kind of going on a parabolic run. But yeah, alt season is when Bitcoin dominance pivots. Like right here, right? You had all this accumulation of dominance on Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden, bang, the alts start popping off, and then Bitcoin drops in dominance. And that was back in, 2020. into 2021, when the 2021 was really nice for altcoins. A lot of things happened in 2021. Bitcoin was still doing well, by the way. Like it wasn't that Bitcoin crashed or anything in 2021. It's just that the alts finally woke up and started pulling some of that market cap away from Bitcoin. So that's pretty much how you read the dominance chart. But yeah, like there is that, look, on Bitcoin dominance, there seems to be this kind of resistance level that we are fast approaching at about, you know, it's below 50% dominance. It's like 48% roughly is where that resistance is, 48.5. So we're currently at 47.8 or 47 point, yeah, about 47.8% dominance. So yeah, a very sticky area. It's very hard and tough to get through here, which has sort of been a thing for the past like 6 to 8 months or more, right? Since June, basically. Let's see how we go. I think a lot of this dominance went to Tether and stable coins, right? Because Bitcoin went through a bear market, crypto went through a bear market, a lot of things flowed out of Bitcoin and went into stable coins to weather the storm, right? But now we're sort of starting to look optimistic. We're peaking out, like, you know, some of this money from Tether most likely is flowing back into Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's reclaiming that dominance. But it'd be nice to see it go from stable coins, I'll just write ST for stable, flowing back into Bitcoin. And then from Bitcoin, flowing into the altcoins. And then profits are taken on alts. Profits get taken and pushed back into stables. And the cycle continues, right? It's kind of like this, the flow of money, the flow of funds. When people bring brand new fiat into the market, I mean, they buy all sorts of things, right? But some of it, initially at least, gets bought in a stable coin. Like me, I buy Tether. If I'm bringing money in, I'm buying Tether. And then I'm using that Tether to do things like, you know, either open positions or just, you know, sit in Tether, like, until I make a decision on what I want to do with it. But yeah, like, obviously you can outright buy Bitcoin straight off the bat. You don't have to go through stables first, but yeah. Depends what you're doing. But generally speaking, like as a rule of thumb, like from the history of crypto, a lot of money flows through Bitcoin first. Bitcoin cuts the path and then out into the alts. And that's why Bitcoin dominance is rising right now, because that's what is happening. Bitcoin is gaining all this value, cutting a path, pulling in fiat back into the crypto market. And then eventually we will get a shift, and then that money will disperse and go into the altcoins. That's what that's the theory, right? This is an old short that I had on Bonk. Still got my alerts set on for it. That's why you heard that alert just there. Anyway, that's pretty much it, guys. Like, let's just see what Tuesday throws at us. We'll see how Wednesday goes. If anything crazy happens, I'll put an update through Discord. It'll just be a text update if anything insane happens between now and the Fed funds rate. But I will try to get on and stream during the funds rate decision, just depending on what's happening in my life. But we'll see. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to stream again, and thank you a lot. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next stream. Take care and trade safe, and have a good night. Have a good day wherever you are.